Hi, this is Randy Wykoff, the Dean of the College of Public Health at East Tennessee State University, and I'm pleased to provide the Public Health Weekly Update for June 1st, 2023. This week, I'm going to complete our 3-week look at whether meditation will improve our health. The first week, we looked at the probable health benefits of meditation in the areas identified by the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health. The second week, we looked at why trials of meditation are so difficult to do. If you haven't seen those first 2 weeks, you may want to review them before watching this final episode. Because today I'm going to talk about my general conclusions about the impact of meditation on health, a few words about some folks for whom meditation may not be beneficial, and then a question came in specifically about meditation and post-traumatic stress disorder that I'll address at the end. So I have to say, I started this series believing that there was pretty reliable information about the impact of meditation on health. Having completed it, I still believe that meditation can have positive health benefits for some people, but the information is not as strong as I thought. Now, this doesn't mean that meditation isn't effective. It doesn't mean that it can't be exceedingly important for people's health and well-being, but it means that the research hasn't yet been done that really proves the relationship that we're looking for. The relationships, if they exist, probably relate to mental health and well-being, which is not too much of a surprise. In terms of the safety of meditation, most reports suggest that it's very safe. According to the NIH, meditation and mindfulness practices are generally considered to have few risks, but like so many studies on the effectiveness, there's also no absolute information on the harmful effects. So as they say, it isn't possible to make a definitive statement about safety. In their analysis of multiple studies, they conclude that about 8% of participants had some negative effect from practicing meditation, which is similar to the effect of other psychological therapies, and most often related to anxiety and depression. But they also found that it probably was no more harmful than receiving no treatment. So just as we can't say definitively that meditation is always beneficial for health, we also can't say that it's completely safe or completely unsafe. I think generally it's safe to say that meditation without appropriate supervision could be problematic for some folks with underlying health conditions, particularly significant anxiety or depression, or folks with a significant history of trauma. But the caveats here is without appropriate supervision and could, because in fact, with appropriate supervision, meditation may well be helpful even for these folks, but it has to be undertaken under the close supervision of a qualified mental health professional. Now, there are some other folks who may not benefit, folks for whom prolonged silence may be disorienting, some folks for whom the physical posturing of some types of meditation may be uncomfortable, and it may also be possible that there'll be some inconsistencies between where one mind goes during meditation and their underlying spiritual and religious beliefs. But generally speaking, it's considered safe. Now, I was asked about PTSD in meditation. I can't obviously review everything about PTSD, except to say that it occurs in about 7% of returning combat veterans, but much higher in more recent conflicts and higher among female veterans. But this report from the VA looks at the prevalence of PTSD, and you can see in some of the more recent conflicts, much higher than the 7% reported overall. It surprises some people to learn that about 6% of the general population has symptoms consistent with PTSD, and perhaps even more surprising to learn that many people, including combat veterans, don't know that they have PTSD. They just know that something isn't right in their lives, and they aren't aware of that some of these symptoms may well be associated with PTSD. As I say, this is not, I don't have the opportunity today to give you a full summary of all the information about PTSD, other than to say it is a potentially serious condition and should always be diagnosed and treated by a qualified mental health professional. There are a number of therapies that can be exceedingly effective, and meditation under the supervision of a qualified mental health professional may well be a useful addition to these therapies. A a multi-study review published recently concluded that these findings suggest that meditation and yoga are promising complementary approaches to the treatment of PTSD and warrant further study. So again, promising, probable further study. The National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health did multiple reviews, and they say that 6 of 8 studies reported that participants had a reduction of PTSD symptoms, and that that meditation was at least as effective as certain other therapies, and that veterans who used meditation also showed improvement in mood and overall quality of life. If I thought I might have PTSD, what I would do is I would seek a qualified mental health professional who has significant experience treating PTSD. And the way I would find these folks is by talking to other folks who've been treated with PTSD, combat veterans, and others. And I would ask them, if appropriate, to start me on therapy, but I'd also ask whether meditation might be a helpful adjunct. And I would avoid self-treatment, over-the-counter medications, alternative medications, even if others speak highly of them. Again, we have to be reliant on the science. And right now, the science suggests that there are good, reasonable treatments for PTSD that may, and under appropriate circumstances, include meditation. So will meditation improve my health? My bottom line advice is if you don't have a significant mental health condition or a history of significant trauma, it's probably fine to give meditation a try. If it makes you feel better or improves your health and well-being, that's great. Stick with it. If you have any doubts, talk to your healthcare provider and seek meditation under a qualified instructor. So at the end of the day, will meditation improve my health? I think the data will eventually show, yes, meditation is helpful. I'm a little bit concerned that we're still very early in the research process. But again, I tend to come down on the side of believing that unless you have a significant underlying condition, it's probably worth giving meditation a try. Please, as always, share these videos with anyone who might be interested. The whole series, both on COVID and steps we can take to be healthy, are on our College of Public Health website. I have researched, prepared, and presented these data on my own and take full responsibility for what I've said. Dara Young has produced edited captions and posted these videos. If you have any questions or comments about this issue or any other evolving public health issue, please let me know. I look forward to hearing from you. So until next week, please be well.